Welcome to Yoga with Cordelia, yogaing for health and well-being. Hello yogis, today's yoga class is a Vinyasa Flow sequence, part of the Everyday Yoga series, for when you are short on time but you still want to breathe, move, flow and generally feel good. I am using blocks in this, but you don't need to. This can be done just as well without blocks or with blocks, and I've given options throughout the sequence. So let's roll out our mats and let's begin. Let's begin in Sukhasana, easy pose. I'm sitting up on a block to give my hips some space. If you feel that you're collapsing in the lower back, then try sitting up on a block or a cushion. Hands resting on the knees, tall up through the centre channel, closing off the eyes. And just notice the breath coming in and out through the nostrils. This is your time. Open the eyes. Place the left hand down, inhale the right arm up and exhale into your side stretch. Feel the stretch up the right side of the body. 3 breaths here. Exhale back through to centre. Inhale the left arm, exhale over into your side stretch to the right, keeping both seat bones firmly on the block or the mat. Rotating the chest up to the sky. Breathing here. Then exhale back to centre. If you're sitting on a prop, remove it. Carefully come forward to tabletop. Wrists under the shoulders, fingers spread wide, knees under the hips, feet parallel, navel up and in. Cat and cow. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, elbows straight. Exhale, rounding from the tailbone all the way up. Head is the last thing to go. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more round with your breath. And then come back to neutral. Extend the right leg, lift the right leg up on an inhale, then knee to nose and step it through between your palms. Low lunge. Squeezing everything into the midline, find a focal point, then rise up, arms overhead, crescent lunge. Imagine that right hip pulling back while you're sinking into the front of the left hip, stretching the left hip flexor. Exhale, bow, frame the foot. Bring the right leg back to tabletop. Sit back on your heels, child's pose. 3 breaths here. Inhale, rise back to tabletop. Extend the left leg. Raise the left leg. Then on an exhale, knee to nose and bring the left foot through, low lunge. Navel up and in. On an inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Shoulders down the back. Arms taking up space and maybe gazing up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale. Bow, place the palms to frame the foot, then come back to tabletop and down into child's pose. The forehead may or may not reach the mat. Rise back up to tabletop, curl the toes, and on an exhale, lift the hips up and back, down dog. Knees can be generously bent. You can pedal the feet, lowering one heel towards the mat while bending the opposite knee, taking your dog for a walk. Then find some stillness. Heels energetically aiming for the mat, but they don't have to touch. Knees bent as generously as needed, enjoying the stretch through the spine. Inhale the right leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, shoulders over the wrists, as we then step the foot through between the palms, lower the back knee, and then sit back into your half splits. Right foot is flexed, straightening the right leg, but the knee does not have to be straight, folding over the right leg. Deep stretch in the hamstrings here. Then come forward to low lunge, lift the back knee, plant the palms, step back to plank, lower the knees, exhale all the way down to the belly. Inhale cobra, exhale bow. Inhale back to all fours, then exhale up into downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale knee to nose. Come through, runner's lunge, then lower the back knee, and then into your half splits on this side. Breathing deep. Energetically pulling that left hip back. Then roll forward to low lunge, lift the back knee, plant the palms, step back to plank, lower the knees, exhale all the way down to the belly, inhale cobra, exhale bow. Inhale push back up to all fours, curl the toes, exhale seat bones up and high, down dog. Really even pressure through all the knuckles on the hand on the mat, shoulders away from the ears. Inhale the right leg up, exhale step it through to your runner's lunge, squeezing everything into the midline, rise up, high lunge. If you feel very wobbly here, you can put your hands to your waist, navel up and in, breathing deep. Everything is working really hard here. Exhale, bow. Frame the foot, step back to plank. Then exhale all the way down to the belly. You can do that in plank or you can lower the knees. Inhale, cobra, curl the toes, and then lift the hips up and back. Cobra straight into down dog. Inhale the left leg up. And then exhale, come forward into runner's lunge on this side. Pelvic floor lifted, navel in, rise up. Squeezing the inner thighs in towards each other, all to help with stability. Arms taking up space. Back knee can be bent to enable the spine to be in correct alignment. Then lower down, frame the foot, step back to plank. Then exhale, elbows staying in as we lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra, curl the toes, then exhale up into downward facing dog. Head is heavy between the forearms, shoulders away from the ears to give the neck space. Lower ribs knitted in together. Then exhale, come high on the toes and step the right leg forward, followed by the left, hip width apart. Ragdoll forward fold, generous bend in the knees, clasping the elbows, swaying side to side. Release the hands, inhale to flat back, hands can be on the shins, or they can be on the thighs, elbows staying in. Exhale, bow, forward fold, Uttanasana. Then inhale, root to rise, taking up space with the arms, up overhead, palms together, exhale down to heart center. We're coming into triangle and I'm going to use a block, but you don't have to use a block, but it can be really nice to do this with a block. So step the right foot back, turn the right toes so that the right foot is in line with the long edge, back foot in line with the short edge, tailbone long, arms out to the side. Bump the hips to the left, lean as far to the right as you can, and on an exhale, hinge. placing your hand on your block, left arm up, shoulders are stacked. Breathing here. Now if you don't have a block, it's absolutely fine. Your hand will just be resting against your inner shin or inner knee. Exhale, look down. Inhale, rise back up with your block if you've got a block. Pivot the feet so you're facing the other way. Check your alignment. Bump the hips to the right, lean to the left, and then exhale, hinge into your triangle. Both sides of the torso are long. We're not collapsed into the waist. Chest is open to the sky. It's a heart opener. Exhale, look down. Move your block. Inhale, rise back up. Hands to the waist. Feet parallel to the short edge, toes slightly turned in. We're coming to a wide-legged forward fold with a twist. So exhale, folding from the hips with a flat back. Then release your hands down to the mat. And if you don't quite reach the mat, a block can be really useful here, or two. Place your left hand down in the middle, just in line really with the head, and then inhale the right arm up into a twist. Breathe deep here. Exhale, replace the right palm where the left palm was, then inhale the left arm up. Keeping the weight on the outer edges of the feet. Knees as straight as can be without hyperextending them. Exhale, come back down into the wide-legged forward fold. If your palms are on the mat, see if you can bring them in line with your feet, keeping the elbows bent and coming in together. Enjoy this stretch. Inhale, rise up to flat back on the fingertips. Exhale, hands to the waist, tuck the chin. Inhale, rise up. Turn the heels in, toes out. We're coming into goddess. Tailbone long, sinking down deep in the knees. Knees not rolling in. Keep the knees going out. Hands to heart center. Then rise them above your head. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, squat. Inhale, stand. Exhale, squat. Inhale, stand. Exhale, squat, and hold here. Breathing deep, squeezing the glutes, keeping the knees out. Smile, feeling the burn in the quads. Sink a little deeper if you can. Keep breathing, and then exhale, rise back up, hands to heart center. Let's come to mountain pose at the front of the mat and just observe how you're feeling. Breathe deep. Let's vinyasa through to seated. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive down to the mat. Knees as bent as needed. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow, plant the palms, step the right leg, followed by the left leg back to plank. Exhale, lower all the way down, keeping the elbows in at the side. Turn the toes, inhale, cobra. Exhale, bow. Curl the toes under, lift the kneecaps. Inhale, rise up to plank. Then exhale, hips up and back into down dog. Then walk the feet towards the middle of the mat. Heels at the edges, toes splaying off, and then we're going to sink into Malasana, yogic squat. This is quite challenging. Your heels may not be flat on the mat, and it can be really nice to sit on a block here. Find what works for you. If you're off of the block, elbows are pushing into the knees, knees are pushing into the elbows. Bring your hands behind you to help you into a seated position safely. We're coming into Navasana. Feet parallel, then shins up to the sky, holding on behind the thighs. Arms out, parallel to the mat. Chest open, navel up and in. And for the last 2 breaths, extend those legs. Cross the ankles and you can either roll forward into plank or you can shift the knees to one side. And we'll meet in plank. Then exhale all the way down to the belly. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, bow. Curl the toes, lift the kneecaps. Inhale, push up to plank. Exhale, up and over, back into down dog. Notice how this down dog feels compared to earlier. Then come down to child's pose. Rise back up to tabletop, swing the knees through to one side and scoot towards the front of the mat. We're coming into bridge. So lean forward, knees are bent, and then exhale all the way down to the mat. Feet parallel, about hip width apart. You can just brush the heels with your fingers, and on an inhale you lift the tailbone, lower back, mid back, snuggle your shoulder blades under, clasping the hands, lifting those hips higher, really squeezing the glutes, breathing deep here. Place the palms on the mat and on an exhale come down one vertebrae at a time. For the second bridge, I'm going to put a block between my knees, my thighs, to really make the inner thighs work. You can use a book or a cushion. Inhale, lifting the tailbone, lower back, mid back, snuggling those shoulder blades under, chest to chin, chin to sky, really squeezing those glutes, really squeezing that block together. Feel the tremble, everything working. Then on an exhale, palms flat, lower down one vertebrae at a time. Once your whole spine is firmly on the mat, remove the block, then drop the knees to the right and then over to the left. Hug the knees in one at a time, then give yourself a lovely rock side to side. Cross the ankles, hold on to the feet, then inhale up to seated. Let's do a restorative forward fold, just as a counter pose. So just letting gravity do the work as we lean over towards our legs. Palms up so we resist the urge to pull ourselves into this forward fold. Breathing deeply here. Then using the palms, walk yourself back up to seated. Bend the knees, lean forward, last bit of core work. Exhale, slowly lower all the way back down to the mat. Knees bent, feet flat on the mat. Shift the hips over to the right and then drop your knees to the left, laying spinal twist. Arms can be out as a T shape or you can bend at the elbows, cactus arms, which gives a lovely stretch across the chest. Breathing deep into the lumbar spine here. Then bring the knees back up, shift the hips over to the left, and drop the knees down to the right. Deep belly breaths here. Knees back up. Recenter yourself on the mat. We're coming into Shavasana, our final resting pose. Legs as wide as the mat, arms out to the side, palms up, eyes closed. Let the breathing return to normal here. Let the heart rate come back to normal. Constructive rest for the body and mind. Just focus on the breath coming in and out. Gently bring some movement back into your fingers and toes. Rotate the wrists, rotate the ankles. Stretch up overhead. Lovely, lovely stretch. Then bend the knees in, roll onto one side. Bring yourself up to a seated position of your choice. Arms up overhead, palms together, gathering in all that wonderful energy. Bring it down to your heart center, thanking yourself for all your hard work. Bow the head to the hands. Namaste. I hope you have enjoyed this class. Give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and please click the subscribe button below. It means so much to me. Thank you.